everyone and welcome back to my channel. So, glaringly different hair. I decided to just wash my hair and let it go curly and see how I felt about it. Those of you who have been around for a long time will know that this is what my natural hair actually looks like. It's strange having it like this. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, and also I'm very aware that it needs a good cut if I'm going to wear it curly, because it's still quite long, and I think it's definitely in need of like a little bit of attention and some layers put through and just a big cut. And I feel really weird. I don't know, I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder because I'm obviously like looking at it while I'm sort of talking to you about it. But this is what my natural hair looks like if I wash it and kind of scrunch it and let it kind of do that. If I didn't do anything and just washed it, it just goes kind of frizzy, but I can kind of with a little bit of attention make it do this. I have worn it straight and curled for the last 3 years maybe, and I just kind of got into the habit of doing that because it's easier. And those of you who have curly hair will understand. Those of you who don't have curly hair might think that it's not. But when you have curly hair, number one, you never know how it's going to turn out. You can do the exact same thing one day and it'll look like crap, and then you can do the exact same thing the next day and it'll look great. It's unpredictable. And you have to wash it more often, I find, because otherwise it kind of goes a bit frizzy and flat. And you have to kind of just pay a lot more attention to it when it's curly. Even things like, for example, how it sits at any given moment when you're not looking. You don't know how it looks when it's curly. It just kind of very much has a mind of its own, and it's something that I think is quite kind of, you don't get it unless you have curly hair. Parting wise, I was struggling to kind of find where I wanted my parting to be, because I always have it in a side parting when it's curly, but when it's straight I always have it in a middle parting. So finding a parting was a bit difficult. I'm okay with how it looks right now. I washed it last night, went to bed with it wet, which I know a lot of people don't like. It works well for me. And then kind of just gave it a bit of a zhuzh with the diffuser this morning. One thing I am a bit kind of about for some reason is I don't like the colour of it as much when it's curly, because obviously it's kind of got more product in it. It looks a bit darker, which I'm less keen on. So I think maybe I might dye it a little bit lighter and see how I feel about that. What else did I want to tell you about it? I just decided to kind of just see if it was still curly, and as you can see it is still very much curly. It's maybe not as curly, but I think it's more, it takes a little while for you to kind of train your curls to go back to a certain shape. And product wise, I was just using sort of products that I had. So I've used a Kerastase mousse and some like no sulfate shampoo and conditioner and a little bit of like a TG serum kind of thing. I think I need to have a play around with different products and kind of see how I get on that way. But I don't know if I like this hair on me right now. This is going to be really controversial, and so many of you disagree with me, and that's fine. But I feel like it doesn't look nice on me right now because I'm not thin enough, and I feel like it kind of just makes my face look really round. I mean, it's round anyway, but it kind of emphasises its roundness by having it in a middle parting, and I can't have it in a centre parting when it's curly because it just looks like it's not nice. So I feel like it kind of emphasises that a little bit, which I'm really self-conscious about. And I don't know, I feel like I'll get to a point where I like it, but whether or not it needs to be when I'm at a weight that I want to be at, I'm unsure of. I think that might might be the case. And it's weird. It feels in a way, because it's not the type of hair that you're used to kind of seeing everywhere. It doesn't feel very modern to me. I sort of like, when I put it up and I clipped it going in the shower, I thought, God, I look like somebody from like Game of Thrones or something. It was really sort of like ethereal looking, which is nice, but it's just so different. It's so weird, and like, I can't, like, I don't know. I just think it's really odd. I don't know. I feel really odd. I feel like I'm like, I don't know. A lot of people pointed out that they thought it made me look a lot younger, which I thought as well. And then I swiftly was like, oh, does that happen when you're like under 30? Are we allowed to be like pleased that we look younger? Or do you have to wait till you, oh, I don't know. Wasn't sure. A lot of you were also asking me questions about the curly girl method. I have dabbled with it in the past and it didn't really work for me, because I tend to find the curly girl method is much better suited to hair that is drier hair, and my hair's not dry at all. So I think that maybe I'll give that a go again. But like I said, I didn't have the products in like that were necessarily appropriate for that, so I've just kind of gone along with whatever. It is very much hair that you can't stop touching, which I said to Paul that like I thought that, oh God, it was just like I couldn't stop fiddling with it, and I said, oh, it's probably just because I'm not used to it, and he said no, always when you wore it curly you always were fiddling and touching it, and it's because you're kind of like, you've got a slightly different parting and you're fiddling around and that kind of thing. So I'm very kind of aware of it in that sense. Clothing wise, I'm not entirely sure how I feel with that either, purely because, and this is literally just my opinion, do not take this as gospel, this is not like on anybody else, it's just how I feel like for me personally, is that I think it kind of works better with kind of beachier, more summery kind of style, which in the UK you don't get to do very often anyway because it's not warm enough. But also I'm not wearing clothes like that at the moment because it's just like I'm not body confident enough to do that, and also it isn't warm enough anyway. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna say that I'll keep it for a little bit and we'll see how we get on, but please don't be angry with me if I go back to wearing it straight for a while, because I promise you that as soon as I reach goal weight, this will be back and I'll kind of really embrace it. And it, like I said, it does really need a cut, which I'm a bit concerned about, because finding somebody who's a good hairdresser for curly hair is really tricky anyway, and especially when you live somewhere rural, because it's not something that people tend to experience as much, so hairdressers don't kind of develop a knack for it either. So I need to find somebody that I feel comfortable letting them give it a cut as well. I did give it a bit of a trim myself yesterday, but I think it needs a lot more kind of layers and shaping to go into it, and see how we go. What else did I want to tell you? Somebody pointed out yesterday on Instagram as well that they hope that when I get married I'll wear it curly, and I definitely won't. Just because the choice of dress that I'm thinking, I've not tried, I've not looked, it's not, you know, in the immediate future, I don't think it would look right with, and also I'm worried about, because curly hair can be so unpredictable, I wouldn't want to have it not look its best, and I've kind of decided on a hairstyle that I want anyway, so yeah, that's not something that's going to happen, which I know a lot of you kind of were really disappointed about, but like I want to look a certain way, and I want to kind of feel comfortable in knowing that my hair is going to behave itself on the day when that day comes. What else did I want to tell you? See, I feel like I keep looking at my face and thinking, oh, you need a bit more contour here, and it's because of that. But I watched a video an older video yesterday of my curly hair routine, and I loved how it looked, but I definitely think that that was because I was really thin in it. We're not allowed to say these things. I know I'm going to get hate in the comments for this, but that just is how I feel. And so many of you were saying about that you thought that it was actually the opposite, that wavy hair made me look bigger in the face and whatever, but it's how you feel, really, isn't it? And I like it. I do like it. I just don't know if right now, at this very moment in time, I'm confident enough to pull it off. Which I know is wrong, and I know people are constantly saying, aren't they, like, you know, you have to, don't wait for things to be better, for you to look different, for you to do this, do what you want to do here, now, blah, 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 blah. And I agree with that all in theory, but what's the point if you don't feel good? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. We shall see. I mean, like I said, definitely, I'm going to have sort of a play, and definitely once I reach a weight I'm comfortable with. Sorry, I've got a really, like, itchy nose, but, like, I feel like a runny nose as well, which you didn't probably need to know. Yeah, it's definitely something that kind of needs a bit of playing around with, and I don't know how I feel. How do I feel? I like it, but I don't know. It needs a cut. It really, I mean, look, it really does need a good cut. And maybe kind of product. I need to have a bit more of a play with some product. But that's the thing, I think a lot of people don't seem to realise that with curly hair as well, there's so many different types of curly hair. And my hair, because it's not dry, it almost kind of lacks the body that drier curly hair would sometimes have. And it's not super curly from the root, which can give you a flat top, unless I cut it really short, which I don't really want to have to do. And I definitely don't want to have to do that kind of, like, at the moment, bearing in mind at some point I will be getting married and I want my hair long for the, whatever. Not interesting. It's really not interesting. But yeah, I thought I would treat you to a look at, I look like a spaniel. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I don't know how I feel. I feel like, I don't know. Does it, like, I like it, but I kind of feel weird. I need to just get used to how it feels. The other thing is, like I said, it's everywhere. It's all sort of in my face, and I was trying to do something yesterday on the computer, and it was just like, oh my god, my hair. But yeah, maybe I'm just moaning now. So I'm gonna love you and leave you. Hope you enjoyed this random little video, a little blast from the past for you all. You all seem to love it on Instagram, so I do appreciate how much you guys seem to be enjoying it. But I can't stop looking at this, like, area of my face. I just feel like it's like, bleh. I'm gonna go now because you all are probably gonna get annoyed with me. But yeah, let me know people who you watch who have got curly hair that you really like as well. Preferably people who are a bit chubby, because then I can sympathise with everything. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.